Beautiful too.
In late 2003, my wife and I were expecting a baby. This meant we had to move out of our old apartment. It was quite small, but we made it work. But we knew we had to leave after we found out about the baby. A few weeks go by and we found this small looking house in a rather quiet street. It wasn't a large area, but there were a few houses spread out. We immediately fell in love with the house as it wasn't too big, and it fit within our budget. My wife liked how quiet the neighbors were and found it rather peaceful. I, however, found it rather unsettling, but couldn't really complain. After a few weeks, we had already moved in, but when unpacking the boxes, we noticed the basement door was jammed. It seemed like an old door out of the 60s, but we didn't really care too much. We finally got most of our things unpacked and went out for dinner, as we were really too tired to cook anything. On the way back, my wife gets a craving for Lucky Charms, so we pick up a box before we get home. We got home at around 10 p.m. and just went to bed. A few hours later, my wife gets hungry and decides to go to the kitchen for some cereal. But when she gets to the kitchen, she finds the cereal box open and almost half of it gone. She was confused because she knows I don't really like Lucky Charms and she didn't eat any. She shrugs it off and goes back to bed, but on the way back to the bedroom, she notices that the basement door is slightly open. She checks to see if I was asleep, which I was, and immediately begins to panic. She slowly crept back into the bedroom, but when she was closing the door, she could see the faint silhouette of a person across the hallway. I will never forget the blood-curdling scream she let out, which woke me up. I immediately got up to check it out while my wife called 911. I cautiously stepped through the house until I saw the front door was open. I figured the intruder must have gotten spooked and made the smart decision of leaving before getting caught. Minutes later, the cops arrive and look around the house while I comforted my horrified wife. The cops return to us, telling us to follow them. They lead us to the basement door, as it is now wide open, letting off a putrid stench. My wife felt so sick she had to go back to the bathroom. The cops and I scan the basement and find piles of water bottles and wrappers of food. The floor was littered with feces and dirty clothes. The cops said someone must have been living here before we moved in. The only thing that worried me was how long was it there.